All right, it's Monday and another live stream is here. Do you guys hear me properly? Oh, no one is here yet. Okay. I think voice is okay. And stream seems fine. Cool. I will do the same exact thing that I do every day. And I will just remind myself about this range over here, this big range on the daily chart, and I see that price finally takes out the range low. Many people have been waiting for this swing over here, but well, price decided to take it out with a gap low on Sunday. That happens sometimes, always, but sometimes price does that. So swing traders probably caught this, but intraday traders, well, now I will go back to the daily chart and I want to mention that my target is about these levels, 23k, because there is a monthly imbalance over here, but this is a longer term target. Maybe price might want to visit this area next month. Maybe price wouldn't visit this level at all. What matters is price has been choppy and consolidating for a real while, and price took a nice monthly low level, and we can see this low visible on almost every time frames. This is a significant range low, right? And when price is range bound like this and price breaches the range extreme like it is doing today, we don't just jump into conclusion that price is breaking out. No. A breakout means price is leaving a range. This is a price range, an area, right, that price has been trading in between for a quite while. And if we are going to talk about a breakout, it should be, we should see that price is leaving the area. Price is starting trading another area, maybe leaving some imbalances, maybe going away from the area and consolidating below the area without coming back to that area. So this is a liquidity sweep, at least for now. Unless I see a impulsive movement going away from this range, then this is not a breakout and this is not a reason to be bearish, right? In fact, this is a good level to be a contrarian, right? This is a good level to be bullish and look for long setups, at least for today or maybe tomorrow, right? So today, what I am just seeing here is price just took out this low, and at least if price is going to break below, at least I want to see is some reaction from this level. So this is a nice SNDR area. SNDR means supply or demand responsible. Supply or demand responsible for the break, for this breakout over here. This is a demand responsible, so we will just simply call it a demand area on daily chart, which is a strong area. Even though price wants to stay bearish, even if price is going to take out all of these lows, price might receive some kind of reaction from this level, and that little reaction could be our long trade on lower time frames, right? So if you look at here, I mean, if you I only trade AM sessions, right? But if I wasn't trading AM sessions, this could be a nice expanded reversal long setup around these levels, and this could be another one. And on lower time frames such as 1 minute, we can see another one here. This one was the first proper setup after this crossover, and at this level price starts to expand higher, and this is the first nice setup after the expansion higher. But this is not the AM session, so we should go back to the chart and look what we get for, check what we get for AM session, right? The AM session started 11 minutes ago, about right here. Price just went into the weekend gap. The weekend gap is right over here. Price dipped into weekend gap a little, and it seems like it is now coming back. Price also swept this high over here. This is the overnight session high. Let me mark that. Overnight high. Overnight high was taken, and we see a nice consolidation area over here. And as you can see here, price could not really leave this area away, right? I mean, I watched many YouTube videos about the market structure before, and some video says the close above this kind of important high is market structure break, and some say close is not necessary, wick is enough. Some says wick is liquidity sweep, but close is market structure break. But I think none of them are exactly correct. What is right is, in order for me to call something a breakout, I need a break out of that range. Meaning, I want to see price leaving the range away. In this example, price closed above, but it immediately went back inside the range and started dropping lower, right? So this didn't leave this range away, and price just swept the liquidity and came back lower. And so right now I am observing the opposite side of liquidity. Why? Because this is the nature of range bound markets, right? If it is a rangy market, then it might sweep both sides of the market. So I also want to mention that over here we see the price is sideways, right? We have got our higher time frame bias. Let's start from there. On higher time frames, price visited some important levels, took out the liquidity, and came back inside the range. As we can see over here, this is our huge range. Price took out the low, and as soon as price took the low, price went back inside the range. And if we go to the lower time frames, such as 5 minute or 1 minute, doesn't really matter, price took the upper side of the range, buy side of the range, and price went back inside the range over here as well. Now we can clearly see that after price came to this weekend gaps low level or current weekly opening price level, which is this level, right? This level is current weekly opening price level. Let me mark it as weekly open. WO means weekly open. Okay. So price came to this level and started accumulating below that level, right? So I want to understand what that accumulation means, right? What is price likely do, and was it just a rest for price, and does price want to visit another levels, or was it just an accumulation below a resistance level? I don't know it yet, but all I see is a clean accumulation or clean consolidation area. And when there is a consolidation like this, I would like to get more information by sitting still, by just watching price action, right? I watched many videos about these moving averages as well. There are really good information in the YouTube about this one, but this particular information I didn't see it much. If price is stuck in between two moving averages, over here we have got two moving averages. One of them is 200 simple moving average and the other is 20 simple moving average. So the 20 simple moving average shows us the recent price, the average of recent price, and 200 shows us a little bigger picture. And if these two are getting close to each other, and if price is in between them, we see, most of the times we see a choppy price action like that. So over here we see that moving averages getting close to each other without crossing, expanding a little and then getting close once again, cross over here and another cross, and then price is still close to both moving averages. Price is closing above and below the 200 simple moving average. If I want to catch a trend, I want to make sure that trend is already started. I don't want to enter the trade before the trend started. I don't want to be fortune teller, right? Because I don't know when it is going to start. I believe price might keep going higher to take out this middle level and this upper level of this weekend gap. But when? I honestly don't know when. It might be right now. It might be after sweeping this low. It might be, I don't know, price might start this moment at around these levels at 10:30 or maybe even later. I have no idea, and I don't need to have an idea about that too. Why? Because I don't need to do fortune telling stuff. All I need is watch the price, see that price is starting the movement, and then join to that movement at some point. So currently this moving averages and price action itself is not signaling a trend right now. It doesn't look like there is a beginning of the trend. If I enter a long position over here and put my stop loss over here or over here, I might easily get stopped out, right? Even if I put a wider stop loss, I don't know which levels price will react to. Because why? This is the AM session, and AM session might be volatile and erratic, and price might want to deep into these lows over here as well. I don't know, and I don't need to know either. So instead of trying to guess what is going to happen, I just simply watch, observe, and understand. So I want to show you some example of bullish trends, and I want to show you how this moving averages looks after a bullish trend starts, right? Let us get to the ES chart, and let this is just for illustration purposes. This is an example, right? Price accumulates a little, these two crosses, and then these two starts to expand from each other, right? And if you get long setups around these levels, I don't know, these levels, your long moves a little, okay? And another example over here. A cross happens, price starts to expand, maybe sweeps a liquidity, and then keeps going higher for a while. And as you can see, these two looks much different. And if you zoom back to the places where it was choppy, do you see that relationship between the price and these two moving averages, right? We would like to see something like that before we take a long setup. I mean, we don't try to be a hero, right? We try to get just some nice setups. That's it. There is another good thing about waiting, and let me explain that too. I was talking about the bullish possibilities, right? Price might sweep this and then go back higher, maybe go deeper. It might go back higher now, maybe in an hour. I didn't talk about bearish possibilities, bearish scenarios as well, because, well, I'm a human. I just made an analysis based on past experience, and past experience does not guarantee future. So there is another possibility, which is my bias could be totally wrong. Why? Because price is in an extreme place, right? And this thing over here might turn into a breakout that I did not expect. I do not expect a strong breakout for today because price just took this level, and I expect a little bit of reaction, right? A little bit of something maybe, and then breakout, but I cannot be absolutely sure about that because I can't see the future, right? Nobody does. So by waiting patiently, I am also protecting myself from my own bias, right? I don't cling onto my bias. I want to wait for price to confirm my bias and then take my position based on that. So I believe these are the best areas to be patient because the week just started, right? We have got a nice big gap, and I believe this week we'll have enough volatility for us. I want to also mention something else. We just went into summertime, I guess. I'm not exactly sure about it, but this was UTC -5, and yesterday this turned into UTC -4. So there is a change in the time, and this might affect participation in the markets, especially the institutional participation, right? So this week might end up being a little stranger, a little more strange or stranger for my eyes. I don't say this week is going to bad because of the time changes, time shift, whatever. What I say is there might be something that I am not used to seeing. because my trading experience is a subjective experience, and objective reality doesn't really matter. What matters is, um, am I good enough to, or am I comfortable enough to navigate that, or would I see something that might be challenging for me? I believe the second is the higher opportunity, higher probability, because I don't know. I mean, I might make mistakes, right? And so I would rather be. I don't do the guesswork because, especially today, maybe some other day I might guess some stuff. I might say, well, my experiences or my gut feeling tells me this, but today my gut feeling can be wrong, and more wrong than any other day, because of this time shift. And yeah, when my gut feelings is not prepared for something, I just don't rely on my gut feelings, right? I rely on the data. There might be days in which where I rely on my gut feelings, but today is not one of them. If my gut tells me, man, short it from here and you will get really nice profits, I won't listen to it. Let me zoom in a little. When price is picking a direction, especially after price picks a direction, price doesn't visit this 200 simple moving average over and over again. If it is picking a direction, it might tap it a couple of times and then start expand away from it. Over here we can see that price expand away, comes back, closes lower, taps, closes a bit, and then taps, going back lower, and then right now it came back again. I would rather see price going away from this 200, and I would rather see this 20 simple moving average and 200 simple moving average is expanding away from each other. Otherwise, this consolidation might keep going and I will be sidelines. Good morning, everyone. Sosinho is here, Elias is here, Andre is here. Good morning, guys. All right. Confusing markets, yes. I will be back in a couple of minutes, guys. Excuse me for a second. Alright guys, I'm back. Let me come back to the chat. Since you trade live on YouTube, how was your performance? Well, I'm going to be honest with you about that. The purpose of this live streams was just to get some accountability for myself and just get some fun, you know. And I wasn't really expecting a good performance from myself because hi Burhan. Yeah, I hope as well. I wasn't expecting too much from myself, but honestly, this live streams has been going a lot better than I expected from myself. So you might wanna browse the old live streams. Hello Simon, welcome. I added chapters to the old live streams. You can let me check this here. All right. You can come here in the live section, open the videos, and because browse these chapters over here. It seems like there will be a. You can see the positions we take, etc. Just browse them. Dr. Ömer Sayer says, take it easy, brother. We are following too. Thank you, man. It is lovely to see you here. My doctor friend is here too. I'm happy to see him. Alright, let's get back to chart. There is nothing much going on around here. Price is slow. It is a little choppy. And it is going back and forth, as we can see. I don't mind being patient over here. It might keep expanding higher from this level. This seems like a nice range reversal on 5 minute. This is also an SBS setup, SBS formation, whatever. This is the 1, 2, 3, and 4. Maybe this might be 5. I don't know. Maybe price might want to make yet another low and then turn back higher. I'm not going to rush into anything because I see this imbalance over here. Price did tap this imbalance once and came back lower. Now it came back to this imbalance for the second time. It kind of looked like it kind of looks like it is invalidating this imbalance, but price has been a little slow, so I'd rather be a bit more patient, and I wanna follow these imbalances and just watch the reaction from that levels. I don't know, it might be reversing back higher from this level and price might visit this midpoint at the higher level. The higher level is previous week closing price, the Friday closing price, this one over here. And this is the midpoint of that big gap. Alright, let's see what happens. What was the name of the app? Let me find it. I think, yeah. All right. Price closed above this imbalance, but after the close, it went back lower immediately. Now I want to see the closure of this 5-minute candlestick, because if this closes like that, we might see the another low possibility that we mentioned, right? This is why we don't act based on FOMO. This is why we don't treat like, oh, it's going, we gotta take this. No, we don't do that. Especially when it is range bound like that, we stay patient, right? So let's wait and see what happens. I believe price is going to give us some opportunities today if we do not rush it too much. And today I am not going to zoom into 15-second charts, for example. This is the micro lower time frames, and when price is sideways, I am not really good at trading extra lower time frames, especially the second charts, 30 second, etc. So I will stay on 1-minute chart, and I will just check this consolidation areas, especially the midpoint. I'm just looking at the reaction price receives from these levels. This was the first retracement back. Price tapped this level, came back lower. Let's see if these levels might be visited too. I want to see, let's close the border and open the midline a little. I just want to try something, but on paper trading account. I am not going to try it on evaluations. All right. Let me choose my account. Okay. And let me open this one as well. This is not really my setup. I am experimenting with something that I want to learn. Right. Okay, the accounts are ready. We can get back to charts. I am curious about something about the very old weekend gaps. I just want to see how it looks, because price visited really old levels when price was sweeping this low over here. And as we can see, there were some weekend gaps from 2025. This is from July and this is from August 2025. And when price sweeps these kind of range extremes, price most of the time receives some reaction from these gap levels. And if price decides to come back to this level once again, maybe break lower, price might want to use these levels as a resistance levels in the future. But let's stay on the subject for now. We will probably mention these gaps once again when price comes back to this level. I just opened this to show you guys how I perceive these gaps, old gaps, really old ones, and how I pick them, right? I just wanted to show it to you. And now I'm going to close them because I don't want to see a confusing chart. All right, let me check the thing that I tried. This is a little tap high on 1 minute, but I didn't want to trade this because of this consolidation, right? But if we check this like that, I don't think it looks very clean as well. So this might be the consolidation area, these levels around here, and price left the area over here, tapped the area, the lower low, and price took out this level, immediately reversed back lower. I don't think that this was easily tradable. I mean, I just noticed this right now, but if I noticed it before, I wouldn't take this one. I wouldn't take this short over here. And if I was going to take any kind of risks, I wouldn't take this long either. For this long, I just wanted to try and see if this midpoint works or not. Maybe this midpoint, I don't know. It seems like it wouldn't work out because of the 5 minute, because of the thing we mentioned on the 5-minute chart. At the beginning of this session, we were talking about this imbalance over here. Price tapped into the imbalance once, made a lower low, came back again. Price looked really bullish, but it was just coming to the imbalance for the second time, and because of this higher volatility, it closed a candlestick like that. But with the next candlestick, it immediately came back lower like that, and it kind of seems like it wants to maybe tap this 200 simple moving average on 5-minute chart. I mean, it would be ideal to see this getting flat before taking a long position. As you can see here, price has been dropping before the weekly open and it made a gap lower. So this 200 simple moving average has been going lower, right? Moving averages has got trends as well, just like the price itself. So when we look at here, there is a crossover here, right here, moving average cross. But this cross is not enough for me. I also want to see this getting flat and then starting to look up, starting to go up. That's when I believe on the 5-minute chart, price might starting to turn its trend upwards. Because when it is looking like that, this kind of crossovers may happen. I call these manipulation crosses because price makes a bullish crossover over here, but immediately comes back and makes a bearish one, consolidates around here, right? So right now, to get a long setup, I would rather wait for this one. And I talked about my bullish bias too much, and I talked about how would I get into a long position, right? Now I want to mention the bearish possibilities, right? This weekend gap is a real gap, right? And as we can see, price is accumulating below it. That might mean some short positions are building beneath and right inside of this gap. And we also see that real gaps are, in my opinion at least, real gaps are really strong levels, strong support and resistance levels. Price taps into it, right? Price never traded on this area before, never. Over this little area, just once during the Asia, price comes back, takes out the high, dips into the gap a little, and then reaction. Dip into the gap little, reaction. And once again, sweep all the highs, reaction. But I believe if this was really bearish, I believe we wouldn't see this candlestick closure over here. You see that? I kind of feel like right now price is just repairing the inefficiency of the gap. I mean, right now it seems like gap is not pushing the price away from itself. It seems like gap is pulling it towards itself, right? Yeah, you can focus to these reactions below, but you can also focus that price is being drawn to the gap, right? And I believe if this was going to work as a proper resistance level, price wouldn't be messing around too much around these levels. At least that's what I believe. And my beliefs just coming from my past experiences, right? So it feels like price might keep going further into the gap. And if you consider the fact that price already took out a significant liquidity point and then started to come back from that liquidity level, I believe price might want to repair this gap, maybe today, maybe throughout this week. I mean, there was a real gap on last week too, and last week all price did was going back and forth using this gap. But as you can see, accumulate below, go higher, accumulate above, go lower, accumulate below, go higher, and so forth. So I believe price might do that this week as well, right? If price is going to break out on this higher time frame, which is daily chart, if it is going to break out, then it might leave this gap untouched. And if you have been watching these live streams, you would see that I have been placing my bet on consolidations, on range reversals. I mean, I wasn't betting on, I never bet on a breakout when we were inside of this range. I mean, I started these live streams on February around these levels, and when price was in here, I never targeted too much extremes. I was bearish when price was close to the highs, and I was bullish when price was close to the lows. So today it didn't changed. Price still looks range bound. Price took the most extreme place of the range. This looks bearish on the long term, but in the short term I believe that choppy nature of the price will not be changed immediately. So I believe today we might see price digging into this gap over here even further toward the midpoint, maybe even more. Another thing I want to mention is price is spending too many time. Price put a high over here, went back lower, made the retracement, went back lower once again, but it is spending too much time. It is not going away from the gap. The more time price spends around these levels, the more liquidity builds above these levels. So the more time passes, the less likely I would want to take a short position, unless I see a clean breakout. As we can see, this is a clean range, and if I see price is leaving this range away with multiple imbalances, then I might consider taking a short setup. Otherwise, I'm just on sidelines. I'm really surprised that this thing seems like it is playing out. This long was just something I wanted to try. So, I don't know. Around this level is 1 to 2. Flat as Florida right now. Yeah, we can close 2 of this. I mean, if this was my setup, I would take at least one partial, 1 or 2, it doesn't matter, because it is 1 to 2. Okay, we got a question. Can you inform us about the right corner side button which says BADJ? Okay, what does it mean? It doesn't really matter. It is just when we choose that, it adjusts the price for contract changes. This is the continuous contract on Nasdaq and Q1, but since we don't really trade on the continuous contract, I open the continuous contract just to see the higher time frame levels. Doesn't matter too much. It seems like when we do not adjust the contract levels, price have not taken this level yet, but in adjusted contract it took the level. Not something I overthink about, because I already trade on this March delivery contract over here. So what matters is this one for me. But thank you for mentioning that, because this gives me a signal that price might want to visit this level once again in the future, which is something I expect, right? I expect to see price coming back to this imbalance over here around without the adjusting, this imbalance is around here, around 22k, and with adjustment it is over here around 23 level. Yeah, it's just that. Let's go back to the price itself. It seems like price might be starting the expansion higher that I want to see. I want to see price coming to this midpoint of the gap. I will try a long after price sweeps this one. This is a fractal liquidity sweep example. It is not very clean, but price has been choppy because it doesn't look very clean. But I believe I can get a nice long setup from that level. It will be a small size setup. Volatility is already pretty high, so I wouldn't take too big positions from there. As you can see, price moves 100 point with a single candlestick. So no need for too big positions around here. I think I can wait a little longer. I mean, these two simple moving averages are still too close to each other, and price did not create that cross we wanted to see yet. So I want to see a beginning of the expansion, beginning of a movement, right? And it seems like price is still stuck inside of this range, and I don't see a really strong momentum. If there was a little bit stronger, if price was a little stronger, then this 20 simple moving average would look like this, right? I wanna see something like that. So I think being a little bit more patient wouldn't kill. And yeah, I will check. Browsing the higher time frames, hourly chart looks a little tough either. Let me check the 30-minute chart. Yeah, it looks strange. It's just consolidating. Yeah, price is still inside of the range. And my entry trigger is ready. Almost ready. I need the closure of this candlestick, and it is being closed right now. One buy stop. Oh, price didn't take the order. I think I was just a little late for it, or I don't know. It was just a bug of the platform because I clicked the buy stop. That's alright, sometimes it happens. Price tap into this imbalance. Price might want to come back to this level once again, so I am going to just place a limit order right there. If it comes back, if If it comes back, it takes the limit. If it doesn't, then I just simply keep waiting to get another opportunity. Let me check this one real quick. 23 points. Yeah, it seems like a nice one. It even hit 1-to-1. It would be nice to see one last test over here right before the moving average cross happens. I mean, I believe it might come back to the entry because it has been really slow. But let's wait and see what happens, right? This kind of stuff is something that I must really be careful about, because this kind of stuff leads to tilt the most. You try to get the entry like that, platform error or something like that, your order is not triggered, then you get mad at price or mad at platform, then you enter your limit order, then price doesn't take your limit order, then after you see that you feel frustrated maybe, and then you click buy around these levels, then you see that price is coming back lower, and you see you feel bad, things like that, and one little thing creates a domino effect, and you eventually see that you have blown the account. But I'm really doing my best to be as careful as I can in this kind of situations. I just simply wait because I know that price will give some other opportunities. Why? Because if this is bullish and if this is going to go higher, it will most definitely create another patterns that I would like to take, right? This will do the crossover here. Maybe it will create another opportunity around these levels. I don't know, maybe it will go higher and came back lower to visit the 200 simple moving average once again. Things like that, right? So it might even keep expanding much higher than I expected. I don't really know, but I don't care as well. What I care about is what I care about in here is just being patient. We might even see something like that. Break. That would be the tap. This is the little consolidation area, much more visible on lower time frames. This is the break. This is the tap. A higher high and then sweeping of this one could be another good opportunity. And this 200 SMA is still flat. Price might tap into it. If I could take a setup from this level, 50 point would be a partial. Let's see what happens from here. I'm just observing the closure of this candlestick, and I'm just watching this low over here. Yeah, it seems like a nice sweep over there, and it seems like a setup with a small stop loss might be forming around this level. I would like to see the sweep of this low and quickly I would like to see price quickly turning back higher after sweeping that level. I mean, if this candlestick was a strong closure, then I might consider that maybe price doesn't want to take this one. Maybe this was already enough for price, right? I would consider that, but because of this closure, it seems like price might dip into this and tap this 200. But still, I will keep observing. Yeah, on 5 minutes this looks nice as well. A tap into this, one last tap into this 20 simple moving average on 5 minutes would be nice. Yeah, it seems like it is going higher without taking out this low. But I gotta take this with a smaller size because my stop is going to be on this level if I take a setup. If my stop is going to be here, I cannot open a huge position. It could have been nicer if this was triggered too, but it's okay. I think price is tapping into this gap first, and I will be watching the reaction from that gap, right? If price closes strongly inside of it, price might want to accelerate towards this midpoint. Right now I'm just watching what the price is going to do next, and I don't really want to see this low being taken anymore, because price created the crossover and this area looks like a launching area, right? And if this is the really launching pattern over here, I don't want to see price coming back to this low. If it comes back here, then my launching idea over here would be invalidated, and I would rather wait and see something nicer, something better. But currently it looks like price wants this high right over here. A complete candlestick closure above this high would be nice. It still looks bullish like this, but a full candlestick closing above here might be even a stronger indication for continuation above this and maybe to this level, maybe even more. I don't know yet. As we can see over here, price has been range bound, took out the range low. If you look at it carefully, it took this over here once, twice, and a little double bottom over here, and then price looked like it was turning back higher, but it came back all the way to this low, but it couldn't make another low. It left a failed swing, right? When it left this failed swing, this little consolidation area and especially this high over here became a key area, because this failed swing is coming from right at this high, right? And also this failed swing is part of this consolidation area over here. Okay, so when price closes above it, it becomes bullish, because why? The failed swing was here. This, I believe this was a higher low put in. There's still possibility to see that my stop loss is being taken. It's still possible, right? Because why? Price is really slow and choppy. But if this is launching from here, my stop might stay protected, and I believe this might be the place where price starts the launching pattern, because price already chopped around a lot, and finally it looks like it is going higher. Finally, right? And when finally it looks like that, it most of the time doesn't want to give opportunity for latecomers. So if this comes back and takes out my stop loss, I will be watching price carefully. I will be trying to understand what happens, and I might take another one with my patterns over here. As you can see over here, I traded this particular pattern over here, this fractal liquidity sweep. This is fractal liquidity sweep, right? After this fractal liquidity was taken, I intended to enter from this level, right at this high, but I couldn't. It was maybe because of the platform, maybe I couldn't click on right time. It doesn't matter. Then as I watch price, I noticed that price is not willing to take out this low with this candlestick closure and with this candlestick going higher. So I decided to take my long position from here and leave my stop loss right at the failed swing, right? If you look at this level carefully, this was a failed swing, and this was the failed swing inside of this internal structure. So this was actually a failed swing on the fractal level, right? This is the bigger picture. This one over here, the bigger picture, this failed swing and this high. And now inside of that bigger picture, we see that little swings over here and this one. So it looks like it is creating another SBS over here. If price, it's okay if price sweeps this low and turns back higher, but I want to see this level staying protected. Even this level is a tap low. Let me mark the tap lows with brown colors and mark them as TL. This means tap low. Let's just see what happens. Price might sweep these lows and then turn back higher, and if price is not even willing to sweep this, that is a good indication, because that means there is some buy orders, some enough liquidity, so price is not willing to take out this. But even if price takes this out, it's still okay. I can keep carrying my position. My position hit 1-to-1, and I believe I entered from a nice place, and I might start scaling out after seeing 1-to-2. I don't know, I believe this place might be a nice liquidity point for giving price some kind of reaction. I would ideally want to take my profits on this midpoint. Yeah, Nasdaq seems stronger than ES. This is a great sign. As you can see here, ES already tapped this 200 SMA on 5 minute. Nasdaq did not do that. Right now Nasdaq kind of seems a little bit more bullish than ES. And if we check the normal Nasdaq, no, this is the continuous contract. Continuous contract is closing inside the gap and seems like expanding towards the midpoint. Let me check this NQ chart, NQH. I think this is inside of this. Yeah. Right now I see a little divergence between the micro contract and the normal Nasdaq. By normal Nasdaq I mean E-mini. Since the E-mini contract is getting to the midpoint, but the micro is a little further away, I will take one partial from this level, because it already came more than 1-to-2. It is almost in 3 hours, and price tapped a nice level over here. As you can see, the NQH contract hit the midpoint, but micro contract did not hit the midpoint yet. This is why I do most of my analysis on original NQ chart instead of this micro. So price hit the midpoint. It's been on already 100 points profits, and I think I could leave this as a runner toward this level, maybe even gap fulfill on normal NQ chart. I want to check the NQ chart on regular trade hours as well, and price just hit that regular trade hours level over here, midpoint of the regular trade hours gap. Still a weekend gap, but on regular trade hours they look pretty much same, almost same. But this looks like a start of the nice expansion, and since this is a liquidity void, price can easily slice through this level. I mean, this level might work as a resistance level, but it is also a inefficient level, so price might want to repair inefficiency like this, right? So we might see some nice single expansion over here toward this high. But let's watch and see what happens from this point. "30-minute inside candle looks interesting." Yeah, it was an inside candle, and price seems like it is breaking above that inside candle. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this candlestick closes, right? This is the previous week open level, and previous week close. This is the Friday close. No need to mark it, I guess. And this is the current weekly open. Alright, let's sum it up and see what happened. Price took some important liquidity levels. Price has been consolidating for a while, about 6 months, I guess, if we start from this level. Yeah, almost 6 months. And price finally took out the low, and it looked like it was reversing back inside the range after taking out the low. So we betted on the higher time frame consolidation. Once again, we didn't try to chase a breakout lower. So the bias was bullish, but we were careful about this consolidation choppy price around here. And then we saw price couldn't make a new high, but still we waited because price could have made it. Price could have created that. And then we saw that fractal liquidity sweep over here. If you watched my video, you probably know that this little sequence inside of the range: break, tap, higher high, sweep it inside of this or this retracement leg over here. So I wanted to get an entry from this level, but I failed to do that. So another entry opportunity was presented over here because crossover was happened, and price looked like it was starting this launching pattern over here. So I betted on that launch is starting right here. I opened my long position over here, and stop loss was here. So price started expanding higher. I took my first partial around this level. I believe this was a good level. And when I look at the structure, it still looks bullish. So I want to carry the other one By other one, I'm talking about this one. This has ran more than 100 points, but I still want to carry it because um, I I was I positioned myself in a nice place, and if I didn't take this setup, I would be looking for longs around these levels after price, maybe after price taps into this, right? So I want to watch price, observe price, and see this level working as a support level, an old high. And I also see that nice expanding from the moving averages that I was talking about. It kind of seems like price is making a quick SBS pattern on 30-second chart, but before opening long positions in my another account too, I can be patient a little. I can wait a little. I mean, I would rather see price making one last sweep and taking out this level and these imbalances, and I want to see price tapping into this level before joining a before opening another long position. If I am going to take out a position from these levels, that should be a scalp position. If I position myself from these levels, I wouldn't carry it too much. I would treat it as a scalp position, and right now, as you can see, this low became a tap low, both on 30-second and 1-minute chart. And since today started a little slow, I want to stay on 1-minute chart. I don't want to look at the 30-second. If price just keeps expanding higher without giving another entry opportunity, I can watch that, and I'm okay with not getting any setups, because I believe we all got some nice experience today, right? We saw how can we manage a choppy price action before taking our entry, and we didn't make any guesswork. We waited patiently, we observed price, we created our narrative, our context. After that, we checked the lower time frames and waited for a nice opportunity. I believe we didn't feel any FOMO today, right? And we didn't rush for anything. I mean, it has been a nice session. We got the experience, which is the most important thing. And from here, I am not going to try to be a hero and get even more and more and more, because when I do that, I tend to slip away a little more. This 30-minute candle seems like it is closing pretty well. 50-minute closure is alright. It is well enough. It will be nice to see another strong closure. And hourly candle, it is closing very well as well. There's the possibility to see an imbalance forming here. It's possible, I mean, if price does that, price wouldn't visit this high over here, but I'm not going to bet on a breakout. I mean, I'm not gonna say, well, price is definitely creating an imbalance and not coming back to this level. No, I'd rather wait, see. If I see a confirmation that the imbalance is forming, then all right, I might enter a scalp position after the new hourly candlestick opens. Otherwise, I'm waiting for this one over here. Now let me check ES. ES didn't even broke about this high over here, but it is still going to same direction with Nasdaq. There's some kind of divergences, but it doesn't look bad. I mean, both indices are moving toward the same direction with close speed, not the same speed, but they are close. This is a good indication for a continuation. This looks like a real movement. So let's wait and see what happens from here. Price seems like it is coming back to the level I was mentioning before even it created the hourly imbalance. I mean, it would be really nice to see price tapping this level and then turning back higher. Let me check NQ. Yeah, a tap to this level would be nice. There is no wick above this high. I might enter a long position over here. This seems like a nice SBS setup. Swing breakout sequence. I want to see how candlesticks is being closed. Yeah, that is one of my ideal setups. So I'm willing to take risk over here. I'm just waiting to see this candlestick is being closed. And it would be nice if it closes around these levels, then my stop loss would be smaller. Yeah, I want to see close around these levels. My entry would be here. And my target would be here. Stop loss would be here. Alright. Buy stop 1. I will just measure the candlestick stop loss size real quick. It is around 50 points, so 1 micro is $100. 3 micro is alright, I guess. And another one. The risk would be $300. Let's see what happens from this level. I kind of feel like price might trigger my entry and then turn back a little lower. So I am going to leave 2 of that, and the third one would be around these levels to minimize the risk a little. And if this candlestick is closed, the entry is going to be here. And if the price keeps expanding lower, I will remove my entries and watch what is going on. This is the good thing about the buy stop entries. If price is triggers some levels, I'm in, otherwise I'm not. I used to use market orders in the past. I would click market buy after I see this candle is starting to go higher. But then when price does things like that, I would get stopped out, right? Let me move my entries real quick. Alright, one entry is taken. This is starting to look good, because seeing this failed swing is nice. Seeing candlestick closure above this would be even nicer, and closure above this level might end up being a range breakout, and price might start expanding toward this level over here. So right now I'm just waiting to see a little bit more strength. I'm waiting to see if this little consolidation would be over. The only thing tricky about this setup is the timing. It is right at 11 a.m. and I don't know. I just traded my pattern. It might immediately hit this level or maybe even further and then turn back higher, or it might want to leave this imbalance over here. If it leaves the imbalance, it is going to go higher. I didn't want to, normally I wouldn't take this setup, but I didn't want to overthink it. I mean, most of the time I used to get scared by the OHLJ, open, high, low close of the candlestick. I would tell myself, well, what is going to do? It is going to make a wick lower, things like that. But right now I don't really care about that. I just trade what I see, trade my rules, and I try my best to not make it overcomplicated. I don't want to make it too complicated. I mean, it would be nice to see price tapped into this level and then turn back higher, but if it didn't do that, I'm not going to overthink, I'm not going to get scared. I will just click, then I will either take my loss or take my profits. Right now this seems like a failed swing over here, and if price takes out this high, I'm going to trail my stop loss right at this level. As soon as I see even if I just see a sweep, as soon as price breaches this high, I'm trailing my stop loss right here. At this level, I would like to see price just start expanding without spending too much time. The more time it spends, the likelier it gets to take out my stop loss just to create the wick of the candlestick, right? But if it immediately starts expanding, that would be nice. Alright, if I see this high is okay, I am trading stop loss right at this level. Now when this hits 1-to-1, I'm going to take at least one partial. I mean, if I see if the profits reach this amount, I will take a partial. It's nice to see closure above this level, but I want to see some continuation higher. A whole candlestick closure above this level would be really nice. That would bring us some partial, and I could trail my stop loss even further after that. And it would be nice to see this level staying protected. Let's see how it goes. Last Monday price did take out this kind of level. It didn't leave it protected, but right now it looks a little better than the last Monday. It looks a little bullish. Yes, just recently took out this high. Alright, I think I did everything I could, and at this point all I am going to do is just keep waiting. Alright, how are you guys doing? What do you think about this price action today? How was it? I also took this long waiting to fill opening gap maybe. Yeah, maybe a fulfillment would be nice. Or maybe price might get closer to these levels. Sometimes price does that too, right? Gets close to these levels. Right near the fulfill level, but it doesn't fulfill the RTH gap and then turns back lower. Something like that might be happening too. So I will start taking partials before price fulfills this gap. And first partial is going to be just 1-to-1. Price chopped a little bit. It still didn't give that 1-to-1, and it's nice to see price closing above and testing this 200 simple moving average on the RTH chart. Let me see your electronic. It's nice to see price staying above this high over here. One-to-one would be around this level, so I will place my sell limit order over here. Break tap, higher high tap. Another higher high would be nice. It would be really nice to see some imbalances at this point, because otherwise price might use this level as a tap low. If you look at this at 5-minute chart, I am not entirely sure if this level is a protected level. I took the setup on 1-minute chart. On 1 minute it was a clean one, but it didn't give the 1-to-1 yet because of the size of the candlesticks, I guess. I mean, if my stop loss was originally at this level, then it could hit the 1-to-1, but let's see what happens from this level. Five-minute could not close above this high yet, and I want to see momentum above this level. Otherwise price might want to visit these levels once again, sweep this low. If price does that, that would be a clean 5-minute setup, right? But I want to mention something. If price comes back all the way lower to take out this level, I wouldn't take my entry like I did here. I mean, let's say price took this level and I want to look for another long opportunity, let's say, right? If something like that happens, price comes back and takes this, and price makes a double bottom maybe, and then price turns back higher, I wouldn't open longs from these levels. Because on the 1 minute, price already printed the pattern and price would be taking out the low of the pattern. So this wouldn't be actually a 1 minute setup. This would be a 5-minute setup. And if I'm going to take a 5-minute setup, I would either wait for a 5-minute confirmation, like price is going above a candlestick on 5-minute chart, or I would wait for a deeper retracement, and inside of that retracement I would wait for what? This kind of fractal liquidity sweep. I mean, if price takes out this low, then I would say, okay, this leg is over, price is creating a retracement. I wanna take an entry inside of this retracement leg, so I wanna see this retracement leg is over, and I would rather wait for some kind of consolidation going higher and then the fractal liquidity sweep and then going higher. But if we zoom in very closely, and I want to show it on 30-second. If this is the break, this might be the tap, and price swept it. It doesn't look very clean, but still price might keep going higher from that level as well. If price takes out this high once again, I'm trailing my stop loss right beneath this level. It would be close to break even. If price can make another high over here, I'm trailing here. It would be nice to see this failed swing, because price is tapping into the imbalance, bearish imbalance, and if the price would be strong enough to not make another low after taking out the bearish imbalance, that would be good indication for continuation high right now. So I would really like to see price failing to take out this low. And if I see closure above this high, sweep is completed, trailing stop loss right here, right this level. And if I see closure above this high, I am trailing even further right at this level. Alright, seems like closure is coming, but I'll wait. Close above this and I am trailing right here. Alright, stop loss is trailed. The position is almost risk-free, which is really nice to see. And 5-minute chart seems like it is going higher with a little bit slow grind expansion, but it might be possible to see some imbalances at this level, at this point. Now I'm going to take another partial. Because I have been... Oh, this was the wrong account. I think I should have this account deleted, because this was just a demo account. This was not my real account. Man, that was really a distraction. But fine, this position over here hit 150 points, which is really nice. Now let's get back to my real account and let's observe the price. Let's see what is going on here. This is a break, this is a tap, this is a higher high. This low might stay protected for a little. Let me check it on the hourly. I believe price is coming back to this level. Yeah, I took the setup with the wrong accounts, but it is what it is. It doesn't really matter too much. This one has been going great. Small but steady. And this, yeah, this is my real account. The account that I wanted to take my trades from. I still believe I might still get another opportunity to long. But still, that would be just a scalp setup. I would be cautious about that. This was a really nice long setup. Our paper trade was already closed. I'm going to close this one as well. No, this, I will leave this. Yeah, this one. It is expanded quite nicely. And click flat. And let's lock this account away. I don't want to trade this anymore today. That was enough. And this was the actual account. It seems like price is just starting the expansion. I mean, it seems like price is coming up to this level. But since price has been overextended a little, I mean it started the moment over here. I believe this is just the beginning of this setup. It is just getting started. Okay, I couldn't take a trade on this one, and I accidentally couldn't take any trades on this one as well. This is where I should stay patient and just simply wait for a nice continuation setup. And seems like price is already giving that setup to me. Alright, it looks nice right now. Tap and go would be ideal over this on this 20 simple moving average. But let's keep watching. Let's see if price takes out this level as well. Alright, it was taken too. Right now I want to be very cautious because price already tapped the midpoint of the gap and made its purge inside of it. I'm just watching this 20 simple moving average and this low over here. I might try one long over here, but it wouldn't be too big. I will build my position gradually. Now I wanna see this candlestick closing like that, closing around here maybe, and I wanna see a failed swing tapping into here. Okay, a V shape. I wanna see the reaction from this gap. Something like that could be okay. A swing low and then turn back higher. I'll just wait to see what happens. As I watch the price, I am trying to receive information. For example, I am trying to see how price is behaving from this gap, right? Does it receive some reactions or not? I want to see if price leaving another swing without taking out this low and then turning back higher. I want to see things like that. What is going on? What is happening? Is it willing to expand from here just like that, or is it going to do another low and then turn back higher? Or maybe even is it going to keep make a deeper retracement and maybe come back at this level, right? This higher over here is not tested yet. An unmitigated area, an unmitigated level, alt high. So I want to see what is price doing right now. If this receives some reaction from that imbalance and makes a new low, especially closes below this low. If I see closure below this low, then I'm waiting. If I see close below this low, I'm waiting for a deeper retracement, maybe toward this level, maybe toward this level over here, right? And then maybe turning back higher. Otherwise, if price keeps strong above here, then it's fine. I might add to my positions targeting these levels. Let me check it on the regular trade hours. This level seems like a nice target. A weekend gap on RTH chart from previous week. So this is the place where price fulfills it. This is the place where price taps this one. Now I want to see what is going on here. I think it would be nice to wait for this candlestick closure, this 5 minute. It has less than 2 minutes. So if it closed something close to this one, this level still could be a nice for an entry point. Seems like this SBS is playing out. I will add one more. And my target is this level. I will take partial from this level, 44, 644. It's 20 point away, not too far away. I want to see how this 5 minute candlestick closes. 30-second left. I don't want to see this low is being taken with the next candlestick. So if this candlestick is closed, I am going to trail my stop loss here. After this gets closed, I don't want to see price taking this. I want to see price finally reaching to its final target. Stop loss is here. This is 5 minute chart. Price might visit this level, but it would be ideal if price didn't touch this level and use the midpoint of this 5 minute wick over here. It seems like price is bouncing from the mid. And I will add 2 more here, and yeah, I'm in the position right now. Now I want to see price getting faster and eventually reaching out to this level. This level is high of the gap on electronic chart, but on regular, okay, on regular, I want to mark this level once again. This is where I take my first partial, 44 level. And it seems like price is coming to that level. Nice to see this engulfing candle. It would be nice to see price hitting this level. And 44 is around here. Oh, I accidentally clicked the market sell, but that's fine. Sell limit is here. This is sell market, this is sell limit, alright. Yeah, just nice levels to take partials. And I am going to trail my stop loss below this candlestick as soon as I see this is getting closed. It just stop right at this level. 44. Okay, take this one too. Now it's a smaller position and I took a little partials, and with that partials I am risk free. Now I can leave a little bit, leave a little runners. I don't really know how far this could keep going. Maybe deviate above this electronic gap a little. I mean, when I look at the daily chart, let me remove everything. It kind of seems like it might just tap this level at this point. But I am careful. I'm not just adding to positions just because it might come back to this level. And I feel like this is just a gut feeling. This engulfing candle is nice. This imbalance over here is nice as well. Even though this is a tap low, I will just trail my stop loss here. Maybe just here to make the position risk free. Yeah, at this low, I am zero risk. I already took partials. If this comes back lower, it just takes the profits back, and that's fine. This has been a nice day, I guess. All right. Money Glitch says I took long in London today. All right, that's cool. I hope you took your profits. I mean, I hope that was a profitable setup. Burhan says, I think you correctly noticed that the price didn't want to move away from the weekly opening gap, and that's what made it profitable. Yeah, I agree with you. Price didn't really want to go away from that gap, and it looked like it was stick to that level. It was drawing price to itself. So yeah, that is nice inside over there. And I think it wasn't bad for a first day UTC. Yeah, I agree with that. I believe it was a great day. I agree with Burhan. So do I. Structure wasn't the best, but at least we moved to a direction. Yeah, yeah, structure was nice. I mean, it started a little ugly, but this one played out really nicely. And then this one over here played out as well, at some point at least. I think the second setup did not hit 1 to 2 yet. Almost 1 to 2, but still it looks nice. Gap looks like it's on electronic, and If we look at the RTH chart, we can see that this place is working as a resistance level, at least for the short term. Normally this is a nice tap low, but I don't know, because of the way price looks, this is a nice engulf, and this is an imbalance over here, and price consolidated above that imbalance a little. I don't want to see this low is being taken, so I will just simply trail my stop loss at that low. I'm using a little bit intuition over here. If we look at it mechanically, this is a tap low, and it's a possible place for price to sweep and go back higher, but since price is already expanded a bit, hit a nice key level, I believe at this point, and because of this imbalance and all, I believe it will be nice to see price just keep going higher without taking out this one. Otherwise, I mean, if I see price taking out this level, I want to be on sidelines and just observe the price. Just try to understand what is going on. I mean, getting stopped out over here wouldn't be a really big issue. Let me check this one. The account. This accidental clicks became a 1k profits on this account. It's fine though. This was already locked. Let's see what happens with this one. Price eventually came to a important level on regular trade hours. Price might be making a starting a deep retracement over here. I mean, it is possible to see something like that. I don't know. So this is where I want to just take a break from trading, at least for today. I mean, look at the 5-minute chart, right? The only place price took out a 5-minute low was here, and it was tapping into this 5-minute imbalance and also creating this 1-minute sweep SBS setup, and then turn back higher. A nice crossover over here. And if price is taking out this low, if price takes this out, it would be closing below this 20 simple moving average over here on both electronic and regular trade hours. I mean, if I see a closure below that, I would rather wait on the sidelines, at least for the 1-minute chart, right? Okay, price came back and took that level. It's all right. We didn't lose anything. We are in the game, so that's what really matters. Normally, I mean, if we look at the textbook, this is another setup, like, right? Another long setup. But I'm a little suspicious about this one. I mean, observe this one, for example. This one came right after price left this range away. And not only this range, there was another smaller range inside of the range, right? Price left an imbalance untapped, broke above here, and without coming back to that imbalance, price left this range with multiple imbalances, 2 imbalances in a row, and then price created the pattern right above the range that it recently left, right? Do you see the differences between this setup and this setup? Over here, price almost filled the gap. Price still might want to fill the gap, but Before fulfilling that gap, price might easily make a deeper retracement. Why? Because as you can see, all of this was just slow grind push, and there is no really much imbalances over here, and price is just closing below the 20 simple moving average. Price is flipping this bullish imbalance over here, leaving a bearish one, tapping the bearish and then coming back lower, and right after tapping the bearish imbalance, price creating another imbalance, right? So these are signs that telling me I don't need to rush to taking a long position over this level. Normally, this is a nice level to get a long position. It looks like this one, or it looks like this one, these thick ones, right? But it's not the exact same thing. I mean, the pattern is same, but the context is different. Price already reached to some level. This level might either work as a strong resistance and push price really lower. I mean, this might create a huge reversal. Also, price might just retrace a little and then maybe create our combo setup, our fractal liquidity setup, and then turn back higher to take out this level. I don't know. Right now, it would be more logical to wait because price might easily keep expanding lower. Also, if we look at the daily chart, right? I mean, look at it. It has been expanding, and this could be a place where price is just exhausted a little. Price might want to rest a little, right? Price might want to grab some more fuel than this over here. And if we check out the order flow carefully, we see that price left a range with imbalances and no closure below this low, right? And this low was right at the midpoint of the weekly weekend gap. Nice sweep over here, turn back higher. Nice sweep over here, turn back higher. Now it is closing below both this low and this 20 simple moving average over here, and price already left multiple bearish imbalances. In these examples, in this first one, there was no bearish imbalance, and just price turned back higher. Over here, there was just this one little bearish imbalance, but it wasn't a strong bearish imbalance. Look at how it formed, right? This bearish imbalance doesn't look like a solid one. I mean, this one looks a little more bearish than this one. And as we can see, price just tapped the bearish imbalance. I don't want to take my entry around these levels because price might just turn back higher again. All right, that's a possibility, but it's also a possibility to see that price making another low and then turn back higher. Also, it is possible to see that price making another low, turn back higher, tapping this 20 simple moving average, and then turn back lower. Something like that. All of these are possibilities. At this point, my entry trigger will not be like it was over here. I mean, for example, when I took the entry around here, most of the time price was above my entry. Price rarely dipped below my entry, right? The position was green most of the times. Price takes out this high, comes back lower and creates this over here. Looks like it might be stopped out, and then immediately price turn back higher. Tap the break even, a little loss, and then green. Tap break even, green. Tap break even, green, and then expansion starts, right? And over here, entries, if entry was here, tap break even, go a little higher, tap break even, and a little loss, and then just green. But over here, this would be my entry point, right? Normally, and see how it looks. It just looks a little more exhausted. So this is a nice failed swing, but I believe at this point price just give us a fake entry. I mean, price might give me this trigger. Maybe right after the trigger it might come back lower. Maybe it might not even give the trigger and just come back lower, right? It already, I think it, I'm not sure if this was the trigger. It might do something like that, tap into this imbalance, come back lower, maybe sweep this high and then come back lower, things like that. So in these examples, I would hardly take 1 hour, right? This would be the entry trigger and it would be immediately in drawdown. Let's see how it goes from here. Just for the sake of observation, let's take an entry right at this level and see. Alright, I think I accidentally touched the cable, the Ethernet cable. Do you guys hear my voice right now? Yeah, it seems it is connected. Okay, we're back. I was telling that just for getting the experience, this was going to be our entry level. So let's add a little. We can move our entry. Let's see if this how this looks. Okay, does it wait on drawdown too much, or what is price doing? It is consolidating above. Is it consolidating and spending more time above the entry or below the entry? Right? Let's observe this. Okay, it hit 1-to-1 around this level. It is nice to see 1-to-1. It's not actually 1-to-1 because we entered a little better. Let me check it. Normally entry was going to be here. So I guess this was not 1R. Yeah, this was not 1R. 1R is over here at this high. Let us check it if it can come to 1R, right? It kind of seems like it might not be able to do that. And do you see how this 20 SMA worked as a resistance level, right? Right now I'm not really looking for a long setup anymore, and the only reason I took this long was just to show you guys how it looks when it is not ideal. I mean, how it feels, and do we see profits? Do we see losses? Can we see 1-to-1 or maybe more, right? Does it accumulate below or above the entry? Do we see too many break-evens and too many drawdowns over here? This was going to be the entry, drawdown, break-even, drawdown, break-even, a little profit, drawdown. It was vice versa over these entries, right? It was just break-even profits, break-even profits. Right now, break-even, drawdown, break-even, drawdown. So let's see how it goes after this level. It seems like it is going lower, and it seems like this 20 SMA might hold the price a little. Even though price goes above it, it is possible to see something like that, because I believe this might be the beginning of a more complex pullbacks. These pullbacks are really simple. Sweep the low, turn back higher. Sweep the lows, turn back higher. But right now, it looks more complex, right? There are still some buying pressure. We can still see some buying pressure, but okay, it hit the 1-to-1. Let's take our partials just like we always do. It still might hit the TP. It still might keep expanding, but I still believe that this wasn't worth the risk, because this could easily turn back into a deeper retracement, and after that deeper retracement I could have taken a nice position. But since I see that price closed above this consolidation area strongly, then I can join a nice fractal liquidity sweep setup over here if that happens. If not, I can wait on sidelines, and even after this movement, price still come back to these levels. So it is best to wait around here, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd like to see price coming back lower a bit, taking out these lows over here, and eventually turning back around at some point. I don't care which point. That would be a nice area. I would like to see a retracement all the way back to this level and to this high, and then turning back higher and giving a fractal setup over here. That would be a lovely setup. But if price doesn't give me that, I can wait. I don't really care about missing a move right at this point, because I already locked one of my accounts in profits, and I mean, I'm okay with closing the day like that. It's much better than blowing the accounts, right? So let me go back to the chat. Yes, it is an. It doesn't really need to be an SBS on lower time frames. It could be still on 5. Imagine this like that. If we zoom out and look at the 5-minute chart, right? And let me remove everything. If you look at the 5-minute chart, this would be a lovely tap low, right? A great area. Or it would probably be visible on 15-minute chart too. No, not visible on 15. Maybe visible on 10-minute. I don't know. Yeah, it is just a 5-minute level. Okay, this is a 5-minute tap low. Zoom out. This is the 5-minute range. Price broke above the range with multiple imbalances, right? Price tested one of the imbalances. This is the first step towards this range. Then price kept going higher. If price comes back to take out this low, that would be a possible 5-minute SBS, right? And if we zoom into 1 minute here, we see many tap lows over here, right? This is a tap low. This one was a tap low. We don't know if this plays out yet, but it seems like price is not willing to make another high, and it seems like it is turning back lower, right? I mean, it gave more than 1-to-1, but it doesn't always do that. Sometimes it just taps this level and then turns back lower. So we see multiple tap lows on 1-minute chart, right? And single tap low on 5-minute. And if we zoom out and focus on the consolidation area over here, we easily see that this movement was a breakout of this consolidation area, and this was the first retracement towards the consolidation area, and price kept going higher. So if we focus the bigger picture, if we focus on the context, we see that this tap low over here is much more significant than the others. There's always a possibility to see that price is not taking out this one and reversing back higher from others, but I'm right now focused on the context itself, and when I zoom out to 5-minute chart, I see that this looks like a nice pattern. So if I see that price is coming back all the way lower to here and then maybe consolidating or maybe just making a V-shape reversal, doesn't really matter. Let's say price came back here, made a V-shape, and then started consolidating around here, right? And then broke higher, and then gave a 1 minute SBS setup right here. This 1 minute SBS setup is the fractal liquidity sweep I am talking about. The reason I use the fractal liquidity sweep idea is it is just more simplified version for the SBS combo. Stoic Trader calls this SBS combo, by the way, because this is 1 minute tap low or 5 minute tap low. Price takes this out, turns back higher, gives another inside of this retracement leg, this leg over here, this retracement area. Inside of this retracement leg, price, when price turns back higher, gives another one, and this is a nice confirmation to consider that price is going higher. This is something great. I just wanted to simplify it a little further. What I focus over here is just the consolidation area, break and tap, higher high. That tap becomes the inducement swing, right? So what price does over here is just breakout and expansion, retracement, then fractal sweep. This is the area that was left away. Price retraced toward the area, but price couldn't tap the high of the area, right? I mean, I believe, especially this level, looks like a nice support area. Why? Because if you zoom out, you might say that this is the high of the consolidation, right? It might be this high as well, but this high, I mean this area, I can't find the precise position, and I don't try to do that as well. I will just look for multiple highs, right? These highs over here, I took this high, this one, and this, and especially this one as well, and this step low over here, right? And I just think that this area might be a nice support area. Look at the confluences. The low of the weekend gap, I mean current weekly opening price, and these highs over here, and also these SNDR levels, all of them clustering together. Seems like price was much more bullish than I expected. I didn't see this kind of stuff for a little while. Maybe that this just SPS pattern is getting better over time. Let's see if price can reach out to this level. I mean, this pattern worked just by itself once again. The only things we used here was just wait for this cross, wait for expansion, start taking the patterns. Maybe this kind of one-sided price action is coming back. Maybe it was because the place of the higher time frame, I mean, we already took really important higher time frame level, so maybe because of that our patterns are just keep printing. I mean, this was a nice experience for me as well, because I wasn't really expecting this to be playing out, especially after this big candle and then turning back like that. I'm honestly surprised to see that price eventually could take out this high over here. This is actually something really nice. I mean, instead of being sad over missing a long position, I'm glad that I can observe this kind of stuff. I mean, I can easily adapt, right? And I can easily start taking these trades as well. Maybe I could wait for some extra confluence. Maybe longs after price closes above this 20 SMA accumulates above it. That could be a nice indication for a long entry too. Doesn't really matter. What matters is it looks like SBS is starting to work or play out even better, right? So I'm not going to be sad over missing positions over here. I'm actually glad that this played out. It is a nice signal. It kind of looks like price action is getting more tradable and less complex over the as the volatility gets higher, because we are getting close to the second quarter of the year. I mean, when I look my past experiences, especially during the 2024, during the March, price would get much easier for me to read it, and during April and May, I mean after the second quarter of the year, it was getting a lot easier because I wouldn't need to be too cautious, too careful, right? I could just wait, watch for the breakout, right? It's really simple, guys. Sit in front of the computer at 9:30. See what price is doing. If it is going somewhere like crazy, try this pattern. If it is not going somewhere like crazy, if it is just going above and turning back below and chopping, and if you just wait just a little, you can easily see that chop over here and over here. We mentioned all of these, right? We navigated through this chop, and we didn't get any single stop loss. Even the thing we tried to learn something new played out, right? And after waiting, you see that after all of this chop, right after 10:30 a.m., price makes a cross, and price eventually starts going towards some direction. This was a breakout long. I mean, for this bigger range over here, this was a breakout anticipation, right? And if we look at the range closely, this was a nice confirmation. This was actually a fractal sweep, because if we zoom out, this was the retracement leg which took the range low, right? Inside of this retracement leg, price created this one. This one played out, and after this one, price created yet another fractal sweep. And after the second fractal sweep, we took our entry. So when we look at the bigger range, it was a breakout setup, but when we zoom in, it was actually a fractal liquidity sweep setup with extra confirmation. So it played out, it expanded, and then price broke out. After price broke out, another chance. I mean, it is much more difficult to catch this one, right? More complex. I could have chopped out. I could have get chopped out when I was trying to take this one, but if I want to make things simpler, I can just simply wait to price leave this range behind with imbalances, and then I see this pattern. It's that simple. Wait for 9:30. Not just wait for. Sit in front of your screen right at 9:30. Just sit there and watch this. This is the second step. I'm giving you 3 steps. What I did, right? Simplified. Just sit there and watch this range or consolidation. right? Then just see the breakout and look for the pattern. This is how I trade the continuations, right? I waited for the breakouts and I traded continuation. And inside of this level, this setup over here was fractal setup. The continuation setup, the fractal setup. And over there, I took another continuation over here. Right? This was the first continuation. This was the second continuation. And when price eventually hit some levels and started leaving some imbalances, I didn't trust the third continuation setup. I believe I did the right thing over there. But I also had an opportunity to observe something, get an experience, because I believe, think of it like that, okay? Where we are on the daily chart, we just took out this range low, a significant range extreme, and then immediately turned back toward the inefficiency. Price took the external liquidity and immediately turned back inside. Where is it going to go? Where it is going to go something internal, which is this weekend gap over here. And inefficiency is like something like an internal area that price might find liquidity, right? External to internal. So when we zoomed in, we saw all of this happening, and we saw that this last one played out as well. I believe if price was around these levels, I mean if price was close to expensive side of this bigger range, this giant range over here, it is midpoint is around here. If price was above the midpoint, I believe this third setup could have been easily stopped out, or maybe even the second one could get stopped out as well. Do you see the logic I am talking about here? Okay, this one played out as well. It looks really nice right now. Another setup. Fourth one seems like playing out. It's really nice to see that price just keep going and going. Lovely price action, really. I think the beautiful times might be coming back. The times price was acting like this all the time when I turned that $600 into 100k payouts, right? I wasn't really a good trader. I was just waiting for this, and I was really not disciplined at all. I mean, if I had a discipline enough to wait for this, I could have made a lot more money, because guys, I blow many accounts. I used to be impulsive. I used to click trades at random places. I used to lose some money over here, maybe below a couple of accounts, and then when I was frustrated with price, I would then see this one. I would say, okay, maybe this could save, or maybe I can take it all back. Maybe I can make it all back after this plays out. And most of the time I was getting chopped around at these levels, losing some money, and then eventually seeing this position and taking profit from this one. Maybe erasing the losses, maybe not, I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is, during 2024 and 2025, I wasn't really a good trader. I wasn't an excellent trader. All I did was waiting for this 930 and starting clicking something random and eventually seeing something like that. And if this happened early in the session, I would take profits. If this happened a little bit later, just like it did today, I would lose money. It was that simple. So I believe this is a great and simple way to trade. Just look at the higher time frames and look where we were on the higher time frames, right? And we were a really discount levels, cheap levels, after we took out that cheaper levels, we saw that overnight expansion. Normally, I wouldn't trust the overnight expansions. I wouldn't expect continuations from these overnight session moves. But since price was taking a really nice liquidity point, I thought price might keep continuing higher inside this gap, maybe fulfilling this, maybe coming back to the midpoint. And I was targeting places step by step. I wasn't just, okay, I'm definitely targeting this level. I was moving step by step by watching the price. If price shown some real weakness from this level, or maybe around these levels, then I would be more cautious about my target. Okay, let me close this one. All right, it is actually that simple. Start watching the price at market open. See what happens over here. If it is choppy like that, don't touch it. Just wait. Price is eventually going to go someplace. I mean, in some of our live streams, price was around this levels over here, upper levels, right? It was around the beginning of the February. So back then I remember a couple of days, I had a bullish bias and price was acting exactly like this. And there were some old weekend gaps around these levels. It was looking like this one, but it wasn't close to the range lows, but it was close to the range highs. I was waiting for a long position, but I wouldn't enter a position. I would wait. Then I would see the opposite of that. I would see this range over here and I would see price breaking below with some strength, and I would then see this one. Then I would say, well, apparently my bias was wrong and I'm shorting this, and I would take short positions like that. All just sitting and watching this open was erasing the need for a bias. I mean, if you trade like this, I believe you don't really need a bias, because price is already giving you the bias. Price is already showing you the direction. After all of this chop, right after 9:30, price creates the final and real simple moving average crossover. If you saw how I was mentioning this price, I didn't care about this crossover over here. I didn't care about this one. I didn't care about this one as well. But this one was something important for me, because of the things I have been mentioning, right? And then price made a nice expansion. Okay, now let's get back to our chat. Someone says, good knowledge, bro. Thank you for your kind words. Do you guys have any questions at this point? I will just drink a little water. I'm closing my microphone, but I'm here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. Alright, I'm back. I can't control my emotion even for $1 loss. Well, I really understand how you feel. I have been there too for a real while. But it gets better over time, you know. I mean, the best thing to do if you are feeling really emotional and not being able to hold yourself, turning back to paper trade might be a good idea. Um, or I don't know, maybe. By the way, do you trade live accounts or do you trade evaluations? You trade with prop firms. All right. Um, Listen, here's what is really going on. Okay, I am going to talk about uh, after blowing a lot now trading smaller accounts. All right, that's a good idea. What is going on here is I'm going to talk about neuroscience once again. Okay, as we start blowing accounts, um, we uh, learn something. I mean, neuroplasticity works both ways. Okay, I mean, if you practice something good over and over again, you will get better at that something good. But if you do a mistake over and over again, you will get used to making that mistake. What I'm trying to tell is our brain doesn't really know wrong or right. Our brain just knows what it did many times over and over again. If we do something too much, our brain just creates new neural pathways for that particular behavior. For example, if you constantly keep smoking cigarettes, right, or drinking alcohol, your brain is going to tell, hey, this is something that we do over and over again, and we shouldn't um, waste too much energy by consciously thinking about that stuff. So instead, we can just stop consciously thinking and create some neural pathways and make this behavior an automated one. When a behavior turns into a automated behavior, that would be your brain's default preference. Okay, I mean, let's say you are tired or you get angry, you are frustrated. When you feel like that, your brain is going to get into alert mode, and when it is in alert mode, it will want to conserve energy. It will not want to waste too much energy. So in order to conserve that energy, your brain will turn back to its automated state. And that automated state, if that automated state is being impulsive, your brain will act impulsive. If that automated state is just blowing accounts, taking too much risks, oversizing, over leveraging, things like that, your brain will turn into that. So our problem over here is not just some psychological problem. I mean, it is a psychological problem, all right, but we cannot fix that psychological problem with tricks. We can only fix that by practice, deliberate practice. I mean, if we do something over and over again, then our brain will get used to that. It is really difficult to erase old behaviors, old neural pathways, but it is much easier to create the new ones. And as you create the new ones, your brain automatically deletes the old ones. I mean, I believe that when it comes to psychology or neuroscience, it is really difficult to erase something that have been there. Okay, I mean, um, you cannot erase being a lazy person, but if you constantly do practice behaviors that hardworking people do, eventually you would be updating your software with being hardworking, and the laziness would be erased by itself. But without bringing the new software, new behavior, it's really difficult to delete or erase the old one. So I believe the best way to stop that behaviors is just replacing them with the new ones. But it's it's a little bit difficult because we have to keep practicing over and over again. I mean, uh, one day of practice might be meaningless, but if we constantly, every time we just pause, every time we just behave different, is just a point score. Every time we wait patiently is just an extra point toward the state of being that we want. Okay, so if I stayed patient today, that was a win. And if I can do that once again tomorrow, that would be another small win. And over time, all of those keep stacking, and my brain is just telling, okay, we do this over and over again. We spent some energy to stay patient a week ago, and once again and over again, and we keep spending energy on being patient, and we always be patient. We have been patient for a little while, so our brain just says, well, let's make this patience an automated behavior, so we stop wasting energy. When it turns into an automated behavior, over time it turns into our mood, and then it turns into our personality trait. So in the past, we would have trouble. We would feel a lot of difficulty to stay patient. But after the deliberate practice I was talking about, we eventually turn into someone who is patient. I mean, staying patient eventually turns into our identity. And after that identity shift, the problem would be gone away. So Sino asks, brother, what do you do for a living? Well, I have been trading for a while for a living, and I still trading. I'm also a lawyer, but I do not practice. What city do you live in? I am currently living in a city called Malatya. It is, um, yeah, it seems like price might starting a reversal or maybe a deeper retracement, and seems like price finally might start ignoring some lows and making some moment lower. Okay. Also, thanks for sharing this amazing knowledge for free. You are welcome, and thank you for your kind words. And you should be aware that I'm not sharing all this knowledge for free. You are paying with your attention, your time, your energy. That's something really valuable, and that's something that should not be taken for granted. Okay, I don't get any money or anything, but still, you are giving your time, your attention, your energy. It is actually your life, right? You are giving your focus, your life energy to this session, right? Without your presence, this live session cannot happen, right? This YouTube channel cannot be existed. So I think you guys should put more value on your attention and on your time. I see a lot of influencers acting like they are giving something for free to people. I mean, I gave you a free course. You should be glad. You should be. I think that is kind of a gaslighting, right? Influencers gaslight their followers. Most of the influencer does that. I give you free information. No, dude, you are not giving free information. You are giving an information, and in exchange, you are taking away from my attention, my time, and you can monetize from that attention and that time. You get royalties from YouTube maybe, or you use affiliation, get money from affiliates, etc. I mean, the human attention is something important, and you guys should be aware of that, and you shouldn't give your attention for free to anyone, including me. If you can get the value, well then I forgot a really simple English term once again. I gotta check I would provision, payback, return. Ah, man. You get your return. If you get your return for your attention, then it's great. But if you don't get too much return for your attention, then you should be careful where you attending, right? I mean, when we enter into YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or anywhere, even though we do not click anything, even though we do not pay, just our attention has got some kind of value. Okay, it looked like it would be going lower and taking out these lows, but it turned back higher immediately and took another high. That's why when price is looking like this, I try to avoid taking short positions. Okay. This price might eventually reverse back lower, give some retracement shorts or something like that, but we don't know if it is going to happen. It may never happen today. I mean, we may never see price going lower. It might just keep going higher, or it might happen in really later in the day, maybe after the PM session around these levels, or maybe even at the last trade hours, right? So what I'm trying to say is, on last week's Monday, let me go back to last week's Monday price action, okay? I want to do some reflection. Was it here or some other day? Let me check it a little. Not this Monday, I guess. Let me check Tuesday. No, not. Was it Tuesday? I guess not. I can't really remember, but price was exactly looking like this, and I tried many short setups around these levels, and this account went into some drawdown on that particular day. I guess this one, yes. It just out of drawdown today. I mean, if I didn't, I tried to catch a short position from these highs. I caught some shorts, but price didn't exactly hit my target, so I kept losing on shorts. And eventually I closed the account on losses, and I have been taking profits for a couple of days, but it is barely break even just because I was trying to catch a top. And that day was a nice lesson for me, so I don't try to force that once again. Price looks really nice, reversing back higher nicely. I don't know how far it keeps going, but I believe we might see this high in the coming weeks, and I believe price might be coming back to this level over here, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see something like that. on higher time frames. But I don't know yet. Maybe. I mean, okay, my bias is here on higher time frames, but just because my bias bullish doesn't mean price has to come back to this level, because it already took a significant level, a range low. And if you look at this, this is a little bit complex, but it is still an SPS with fifth sequence over here. Let me close these executions. If we look at it carefully, that would be our range over here. This would be our breakout, right? So this tap over here, higher high, sweep of the tap, and this might be the double bottom and then reversal. So it might keep expanding higher on higher time frames, but I don't know. I think price might make another sweep on this level. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It doesn't really matter, because we are day traders. No matter what price does, we just stay flexible, stay fluid, and flow with the price, right? And we get profits most of the days. And we are just on our learning phases. This is just the beginning, guys. I mean, we will all eventually get better at doing this over and over again, because why we are doing the deliberate practice. And this practicing this, seeing this happen over and over again, also another thing that helps with the FOMO, helps with the fear, helps with the anxiety that comes from the drawdown, right? I mean, expertise always reduces the anxiety. I will mention something else, okay? I am 30 years old. I will be 31 in March 21. Okay, let's get back to I wanna show you guys something, okay? I forgot how to. Okay, I will just write random stuff. Google will, yes. That's what I was trying to text. Okay, this guy over here. This man literally changed my life with this book. I most definitely recommend you guys reading this book. It will probably help your trading a lot. Okay. All right. Let's find ourselves some images. All right. This looks. Let's keep checking. I'm trying to find something nice. Yeah, I think this one is okay. Let's just save this image on the desktop. Alright, name is not valid. Then change it. Let us look at this over here. Okay. This one over here is about the flow state. As you can see, I was in flow state during this live session, and I had fun. I felt joy. I was in flow. I was in sync with price, and not only with price, I was in sync with myself either. And I felt energized, and I felt some growth at the end of this session, right? I learned many new stuff. And about a couple of months ago, I was in anxiety state, because challenges are much bigger than my abilities, right? At in that particular state of being, right? I mean, about a couple of months ago, the challenges I felt was confusion, too much information about the price. I knew too many things and I was trying to use all of them all together. And also I was in some kind of chronic stress, I guess. I mean, I was feeling exactly like you guys told me how you feel. Just couple of dollar drawdown was triggering me because my body was in an alert mode and everything was easily triggering me. So my state of being was anxiety and I needed to lower the challenge so I can go back to this flow zone. Okay. When I stopped taking any risks altogether, I came to this area for a couple of days, but then paper trading started to feel boring because it was easy. I was good at paper trading. I was better, but I was easily getting bored and I was starting to click random stuff to get away from boredom. And when you are in boredom, the challenges is too low for your abilities. And if you stay on boredom too much, you feel depressed, right? So I needed an increased challenge, but I didn't want to take risks, right? If I did take risks, I might come back to this flow channel once again, I don't know. But if instead of taking any risk, I wanted to increase the challenge by creating these live streams. You can do something similar to this one. I mean, this is what it is all about. Because as long as we stay on this flow channel, we have to increase the challenge gradually, but also increase our abilities to be able to stay over here. And once we find the sweet spot, this channel over here is addictive, right? I mean, it feels even better than getting profits. As you guys can see, I didn't make any money today, right? I didn't make anything. These are not money. This is just these are just evaluation accounts, and I don't even know if I'm going to pass that evaluations. And even if I did pass the evaluations, I don't know if I am going to get any payouts, and I don't really care about as well. Okay, if I cared about it too much, well, it seems like price making printing another one. Let's see how this one plays out. Close this one. This is a break. And this is the tap. And price turn back higher. Let's see what happens. I really want to stay in this channel. And as long as I stay in this channel, I will feel energized. I will feel motivated. And I will be forced to learn more. And this will be end up with growth. And that growth is all I need to become the professional trader I want to become. So if you guys are feeling anxious stuff, you need to decrease the challenges or increase your abilities, right? What we are currently doing right now is working toward increasing our abilities, right? So you can try to do both, or you can try to do only one of them. I mean, I thought that I could either try to increase my ability to turn back this flow state, or I could decrease the challenge. Then I told myself, when I'm feeling anxious, it gets much more difficult to improve myself, to learn. When you are anxious, your brain is less receiving. Our brains are only receiving the threats or dangers, not the opportunities. So learning gets much more difficult during this state of mind. So I told myself, okay, I want to improve my abilities and I don't want to decrease the challenges. But if I want to improve my abilities faster, I better get in here real fast. And if I just decrease the challenges, at least for a while, at least for a short while, I mean, turning back to paper trading does not mean quitting, right? I mean, I used to feel like if I go back to paper trading, it would be quitting. And it's, I think, not going back to paper trade when you are in anxious state, is just some kind of FOMO. You feel like, maybe you feel like you have been blowing accounts, you have been over here, and if you just take a step back and go back to paper trading, you might miss the next opportunity. You might miss the eventual possible payout, right? And I believe that is FOMO that comes from scarcity mindset. And all of us feel that scarcity mindset from time to time. We are just humans, right? We might feel that. I believe the best thing to do is just forgetting about just that. The best thing to do is here is seeing that, noticing that how big this is, right? How big can this can get? Trading can get into something really big. All of us, okay, all of us are the potential future millionaires. I seriously believe that getting a couple of $1 million from trading is not something huge, because it's just the baseline or something like that. If you master this thing, if you get master, you are definitely get some couple millions. So how do you even read his last name? My last name is Güneş. Güneş means sun, the sun above our head. I mean, if we focus the bigger picture, trading is actually something huge if you can master it. Okay. Today we are worrying about these stupid accounts. I'm worrying about I couldn't get the setup. I clicked the wrong account. If I didn't click, this would have been profit. It would be nice profits. Oh man, I made the mistakes. Oh man, I should have done that. Oh man, I shouldn't have traded the stop loss. If I left the stop loss over here, oh, I would have get some big profits. Doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't really matter. This is just nothing. Just an evaluation account. It's not going to change my life. Even if I pass it, even if I get payouts, the maximum amount of payouts I can from this account is just $2,000, right? But if I really focus on the craft itself, if I can really master it, I'm guaranteed getting millions of dollars, right? If someone told you, would you rather get $2,000 today, or would you rather get $2 million in 2 years? Which one would you pick? $2,000 today or $2 million in 2 years? I would rather pick the second one, right? Because $2,000 is nothing, and I can make it even just by working on a construction site like that. I can $2,000 is a money that any of you can make from with something. It might take time, it might be boring, it might be tiring, exhausting, but you can do that in over some time. But 2 million, yeah, it's some life-changing money. You can live comfortably with that amount, right? So if I was told $2,000 today or 2 million in 2 years, I would pick the second one. And when it comes to trading, why should I be worried about today's performance too much, right? All I have to focus is and all I need to ask myself is, am I on the right track? Did I follow the steps to become a master of this thing? I believe today all of us followed those steps, right? We came here, we were present, we watched the price, we learned we learned a lot of things. You might feel like you are not making any progress, but we experienced and observed a lot of great stuff. If you are just watching this live stream for the first time, you are talking about the author's last name. Okay, yeah, I agree. 6 cent Mihai, I guess. I'm not sure. I practiced pronouncing it, but I'm not sure. I'm still not sure if it is correct. I guess it is 6 cent Mihai. Weird surname, but a great writer. This is life changing. Um, yeah, and this feeling is everything, right? I mean, inside of here, you really feel happy. You really feel energized. You grow, you learn, you turn into someone more complex. You improve yourself. This is it, right? So no need to stay over here. Anxiety is an awful feeling. One of the worst feelings are anxiety and depression. I really don't like any of them. If I'm depressed, I do something challenging, and if I am anxious, I do something easier. It's that simple. And if I do that, I stay inside of this channel, and if I stay inside of this channel, I just constantly grow myself. I just constantly improve myself. And if I just constantly improving myself, then I will eventually become a master. My craft will eventually become something really profitable. And if I keep just doing that and turn that mastery into a habit and then into a personality trait, being profitable is going to be just my being, my identity, right? My state of being. And if my state of being, if my identity is just a trader who can easily get profits, then it's done. Almost. I wasn't able to pass proper evaluations, then I am paper trading as Stoic suggested. Yes, that's a great idea. I am trying to be profitable for 1 month, then I will try another profit challenge. That is a great idea. I believe it. I mean, it's this is the way. You you try something, you maybe fail, maybe you see that it is more challenging than you thought. You take a step back, reduce the difficulty, and see how it is going on. Then maybe over time, increase the difficulty a little bit. I believe most of us, almost all of us, focused on the outcome way too much. I mean, I believe we should be able to think of the causality chain. Getting profits, making money from trading is just the outcome of being a profitable trader. And being a profitable trader is just the outcome of the daily deliberate practice, right? So instead of trying to grab it, trying to get it, we can just focus on trying to get the skill, trying to do that deliberate practice over and over again, and trust that eventually it would get easier, right? I mean, imagine you are going to the gym right now and you are trying to bench 200 kilograms, right? You might kill yourself by trying that. But if you just get there, start with a light weight and just keep going over and over, you might eventually end up increasing your weight, increasing the weight that you work out with progressively, and eventually you might be able to lift that 200 kilograms. It's a possibility. If it is something you really want to, you can do that. It's really possible. So if you really want it bad enough, I mean, if you are here, let me check it. How long has it been? It has been more than 3 hours. If you have been here on this live session, then that means you want it bad enough. So after this point, all you have to do is just stay patient, follow the progress, keep practicing, and know that this is something long term, right? It takes time, but as long as you keep going, you will definitely be profitable. If you trust it and focus on the process itself, it gets really much more easier. And I believe doing it all alone is a little bit more difficult. I mean, it was difficult for me when I was alone, but it gets really much more easier with a like-minded community, with like-minded people. So all we have to do is just keep showing up over and over again every day. I mean, as much as we can. So, and all we do over here is we study the price together. I mean, you might think that I am lecturing you guys, but I'm not actually doing lectures over here. This doesn't feel like a lecture. This feels more like a conversation, right? It is feeling like chatting. We are just looking at the price. We are talking about the price, talking about the opportunities. You are asking your questions. Sometimes you are joining the chat. Sometimes you are sharing your ideas as well, which I encourage you to do. I encourage you to share your ideas every day to learn faster. It is really something good to be wrong from time to time. I mean, trying and being wrong is always better than not trying at all. So we shouldn't be scared of ending up being wrong. If we think price might reverse back lower from this level, you can easily share that on the chat, and I really encourage you to do that, because that will help you to receive feedback and learn faster. I mean, everything we did over here is just studying and practicing together, right? So if we keep doing this, as you can see, we can see some outcome over here, right? I mean, we can read the price. We can see what it is doing. We can see where it is going. We can see that we are actually able to be patient. We can wait. We can do that. It's possible, right? We can see that we can take these kind of setups, take some profits, take some losses, etc. Maybe exit a little early, maybe make a little mistakes, and then adjust based on that. Maybe take notes and think about things like, well, I could have done that, I could have done this, things like that. Now price making another sweep, and over time it gets more and more lower probability, because the setup over here and the setup over here is not really the same. Even though it has been working properly, I'm not going to take a long setup from this level, and I believe what we are experiencing together here is really much more than passing an evaluation. This is much bigger than getting payouts, getting money. We are really doing something here. We are building our characters, right? We are all learning, growing, improving, and we are trying to turn into something else. We are really changing our personality in front of this screen. And I believe if we keep doing that, we will all eventually turn into real professional traders, right? And I believe a real professional trader can most definitely make millions of dollars, or maybe even more. I don't know, sky is the limit. So I really appreciate your guys' presence. I thank you for participating this session. I really enjoyed it very much. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I will click a paper trade before leaving just for the sake of it. Okay. You might see double bottom, or we might see deeper retracement. Always a possibility. Doesn't really matter. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. You can ask your questions on Twitter DMs as well. I am closing this live session over here. I will get some snacks and then go to the gym. When I believe when it is when it feels really good, it is a good time to close that day, right? I don't care about the profits, losses. I didn't get trade on one of my accounts. Doesn't matter. What matters is process. And I'm closing today like this. I will not take any trades by myself. I mean, if I see something really nice on PM session, I'm going to open another live session, but I'm not going to take a risk without you guys. Okay. Now I will go to the gym. Thank you guys, and see you again tomorrow. Take care of yourself.